Okay, so y'all, I was pretty nice on numbers 1 through 4 because every single one of them was already ready to be graphed. It was in the correct form, and so you just had to look for where they intersected. So number 1, the first equation is 3x plus 2. So I need to start at plus 2, and then the slope is 3 over 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1, or you could go backwards, 1, 2, 3 over 1, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay, so there's the first one. Alright. The second one was negative 3x minus 4. Well, minus 4 means you start at negative 4 on the y-axis, and then it was a slope of minus 3, so it's down 3 and over 1. Now, notice we need to head this way so we can hit this line. So the other thing you could do would be a up 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 1. Well, there we go. I mean, I could keep going and draw these lines, but, oops, if I could draw straight, but it's going to cross right there, and that point is negative 1, negative 1. So that should be our answer. X is negative 1, y is negative 1. Number 2, now if you got stuck, I bet it was actually on number 2. I don't know how much we've talked about this summer, but x equals negative 3. Okay, this is not in y equals mx plus b form, but these are the easiest ones to graph, because if somebody tells you, hey, x is negative 3, then you go to where x is negative 3, and you just draw a vertical line. That's it. That is the graph of x equals negative 3. And then you'll do the other one, which is y equals 2/3 x minus 1, or plus 1. So I'll start at 1, and then I'm going to go up 2 and over 3, okay, or down 2 and the other way 3, which is what I needed to do, because looky there, we're going to hit that line right there. So these two intersect over here at negative 3, negative 1, and that should be your answer, okay? Alright, so now we move on to number 3, and number 3, you start at positive 1 for the first equation, and you go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, up 1, left 2, so all those go with the first line. The second one is x 1/2 x plus 3, so I need to start at positive 3, and then I need to go, let me play connect the dots there, then I need to go, what's my slope? 1/2, so it's up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, or down 1 over 2. It's going to look like that. Oops. Which means what? Which means this is their intersecting point right here, and that was the point negative 2, positive 2? I believe so. Negative 2, positive 2. Yep, that works. Okay, so that's going to be the x and the y on number 3. Number 4, this one looks easy. X plus 1 and x plus 2. Okay, so I start at 1, and the slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, la 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 la. The next equation is starting at 2, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, blah, blah, blah. And then I draw the line on this one. Okay, what's happening on this one, if you're on your grid, these are not going to touch. They are parallel. And if they're parallel, the thing we put in the notes is there's no solution. They don't intersect, so you can't have an answer. Okay? Alright, now we move on to the next 4. So these, you probably were not so happy with me. And I'm okay with that, but you need the practice. These are not in the right form. They're a little tricky. So it becomes, how do we solve these? So you try to get the y by itself. So we're going to start by moving the 2x over. So I'm going to have y equals minus 2x plus 4. Over here, same thing. Let's minus 2x from both sides. Bring down the y. Bring these down. Okay. And now I'm going to graph these. So one of them starts at positive 4, and the slope is negative 2, so down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And the other one is starting at negative 3, and it has the same slope of negative 2. Now, what y'all are going to notice, I hope some of you already noticed, based on the last one and based on number 5, if they have the same slope, they are going to be parallel. Okay? And if they're parallel, what does that mean? No solution. So if you happen to notice from this step right here that, oh my gosh, they had the same slope, I didn't even have to graph all that, then you're absolutely right. If those match exactly, you don't even have to graph them. You can go ahead and jump to no solution. Let's see if that happens again to get us out of some work. Number 6, 2x plus y equals 3. And 4x minus y equals 3. Okay, so same thing. Let's try to get the y by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting 2x. Over here, I need to subtract a 4x. Bring down a negative y. You see that minus sign in front of that? Bring that whole thing down. And now I need the minus off the y, so I'm going to divide everybody by a negative 1. Which means positive 4x and a minus 3. Okay, that's what you should have ended up with. Now, these slopes are different, so I need to go ahead and graph and see what happens. Okay, this one starts me at 3, and the slope is negative 2. So down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. So it looks something like that. This one starts at negative 3. And it's going to have me going 4, which means 4 over 1, which means up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, these intersected right here, and right here was the point 1, 1, if I'm doing my math correctly. Yep, I think I am. So the answer is 1, 1, or x equals 1, y equals 1. Alright, cool. So hopefully this was going okay for you. Like I said, if you're messing up, I bet you are messing up with your just getting the y by itself, okay? So now how do I get this y by itself? Let me minus x. I'll bring down the y. This one, I'm going to rewrite it like this so that it looks like y equals mx plus b. Jumping over here, minus x. I'm going to have a minus y equals minus x minus 3, okay? Now I need that minus off the y, so divide everybody by negative 1, right? X plus 3. All right, cool. So if you're looking at these, this one has a slope of negative 1, this has a slope of positive 1. Those are different, so you better graph and see what happens. So I need to start up here. Start up here at positive 1, and then I'm going to go a slope of negative 1. So down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. This one has me starting at 3 and going up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, or down 1 over 1. That also works. Okay, cool. So they crisscross right there, and that looks to be the point negative 1, positive 2. Hopefully that's what it looks like on your grid, because that is correct. So that is the correct answer for this system of equations. And the last one, number 8. Okay, this is another one kind of like that weird one earlier. You've got y equals 4, and then you've got this mess. Okay, y equals 4, you don't need to rearrange. You can just graph it. You need to go to where the y is equal to 4, which is right here. And instead of drawing a line straight up and down, this one, if y equals 4, you got to cross through it. So the line would look something like that. It's going to be a horizontal line instead. Now this is not ready to be graphed. I need to get the y by itself. Bring down the minus y. Recopy this because they can't be put together. Divide off the negative 1, which means that's divided by a negative 1, and that's divided by a negative 1. That's what that equation should have turned into for you. And now we start at negative 4, and we're going to go up 8 and over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 1. That is beautiful because we crossed our line on our first try, and that would be at the point over 1, up 4. So the answer is 1 comma 4, or x equals 1, y equals 4. I always like to take this and like check it in my answer, like mental math it, just to make sure I did it right. So if you got answers and you moved on and now you're mad at yourself or me or whoever you're mad at, the world, feel free to come back. Always like come back and just check it. Like take that 1 and plug it in for x. So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. And sure enough, that's what that says it should equal. So I know I found the right answer. Okay? Alright, so we'll work more with that in tutoring. And like I said, in a week or two, then we will be doing the other methods for solving a system, to where you don't have to graph it every single time. And I think you're going to like those methods a lot better. But in the meantime, we have to know how to do both, because that's how math works. We want you to know every single way, and then you get to choose your favorite way. Peace.